Hi guys. If you follow Sweet Georgia, you will see that this past week we announced some very, very special and exciting news. And that news is that in 2019, we are going to host our first ever retreat. And so I want to take this time to tell you a little bit about the big idea behind this retreat. Hi guys, thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm Felicia from Sweet Georgia, and every Friday I come here to talk about Sweet Georgia things and School of Sweet Georgia things and yarn things in general. And this week I want to tell you about our retreat that we have planned for 2019. But before I get into the retreat stuff, I do want to touch on the fact that it's the first week of December, and that means that our Advent calendar has begun. So our Advent shawl project has begun. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Advent, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about the retreat. So I'm recording on basically day 5 of December. It's December 5th right now, even though you guys are going to see this in a couple days. And I have literally just finished day 1 of my Advent calendar. So let me show you what's inside here. So this is the Advent calendar box this year, and all of the Advent shawl little bits and pieces are all inside this box. So let me open this up for you. Now, the first thing in this box this year is we included some general information about the knitting pattern. The knitting pattern is called Frosted Lace. It's designed by Tabitha Hedrick. She's our design director. And our Advent shawl project is designed to have different colors and different textures, different yarns, sort of one flowing into the next every day. So every day you open up a little box, and inside the box is a tiny little mini skein of yarn that's a different color, that's a different fiber, different texture, all these kinds of things. And so Tabitha has provided some information about doing some gauge swatches and things like that. And so that's why this year we made our Advent calendar a little bit different from last year. And so this year we have this box here, which is it says Open Me First. And inside the box, we included a pair of knitting needles and a skein of yarn for swatching. And so Tabitha gave instructions on what to knit for 2 different swatches to match and test your gauge to make sure that you're sort of on track. One of the challenges with this particular Advent style project is that the instructions use the amount of yarn that is provided each day, and everybody's gauge is slightly different. So you might have lots of extra yarn, or you might run out of yarn on any particular given day. And so last year we ran into this situation, and we really wanted to stress to people how important it was to just kind of go with the flow of this project. So if you run out of yarn, you just add on to the next bit of yarn, and then you just keep going. And at the end of the day, when the shawl is finished, it doesn't matter where you joined the yarns or where you connected them. In the end, all the colors just flowed together into one big gradient piece. So it all works out. It all works out. So to make sure that people wouldn't be stressed out about gauge or things like that, we thought that we would try to sort of head that off at the pass by creating this Open Me First box with the swatching yarn, with the knitting needles, and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully everybody's been enjoying their Advent calendar so far. Like I said, I've only knit day 1. So I don't think it would hurt to show you what was inside day 1. But basically, day 1, little box, says Be Happy on the front. I had so much fun making these little boxes. Each one of the little boxes has a little message, so that way when you pull it out for that day, you get to read some kind of like little happy thing. So that's day 1. So when Tabitha designed this project, she proposed this color palette that we both looked at, and we both sort of checked over and confirmed that these are the colors that we want to use in the entire Advent shawl. And I have a vague recollection of what all of the colors are, but I don't remember exactly specifically what order. So all of this stuff is a surprise to me too. Like, I am knitting the shawl as you guys are knitting the shawl, and I don't know what's in each one of the boxes because, well, it's a surprise. So I opened up the first day. The first day was a mini skein of bison, and bison tough love sock. And so I started to knit that. Ta-da. That's day 1. And then day 2 continues on with birch. And I thought, well, I have birch I could use from the Advent calendar box. But I also have this sparkly Cashlux Spark birch that was left over from when I knit the Tulamine shawl earlier this year. And so I thought, maybe I'll just swap it out and use this because, any place that I could add a little bit of sparkle, I kind of like doing that. So that's what I'm doing. Day 2, supposed to be birch, but now I'm doing a sparkly birch, and I'm just continuing on wherever and however it's happening. So I also noticed that Charlotte at the studio, she decided to use all different colors completely. Like she picked all different colors and she's knitting along. And so she picked a whole bunch of purples for her particular shawl. And so I also, checked through all of the Ravelry comments and threads about the knit along so far. And it's fantastic because I think that everybody's sort of gotten into this rhythm of just kind of going with the flow, seeing what happens, taking each day as it comes. And if you need to, add a little bit of extra yarn if you want to, swap out the yarns if you want something different. Like, I think that this year, the theme that I'm feeling for this particular Advent shawl is this idea of not just going with the flow, but making it your own. You can swap things out. You can do whatever you want. This is your shawl. This is your project. Yeah. As always, I think this idea of Advent and the Advent season is really something wonderful to go through because this is a season of anticipation. It's a season of waiting. And through all of this, I feel like you can really experience the need to practice patience and, each day waiting for what each day is going to bring and not necessarily knowing what each day is going to bring and being open to whatever happens, being open to when things work out, being open to when things don't work out, and knowing that it is not the end of the world, that there's always a solution to whatever's happening, that there's always something that can be done differently, or to just accept it, there's all different kinds of feelings and emotions that come with each little day's mini skein because each day brings something different. Each day brings some different challenge. So whether it's like a texture that you've never worked with before or a fine yarn that you've never worked with before, I feel like it's a really great, just emotional and spiritual and creative experience. It's a journey. So anyways, that's how I'm taking my shawl this year. I'm going to take it as it comes. I'm not in a panic about being behind already. And I just knit it when I have time and enjoy every step of the way. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your packages too and having fun opening the gifts every day and seeing what this all becomes. And hopefully by the 25th of December, we can all celebrate with a nice shawl project. So last thing before I talk about the retreat, and that is that just my shawl project is just in my little Bink waffle bag here. This is the little small dumpling bag that they have. And I love this. I, put a pair of socks in it, start a shawl in it. When it starts to get too big, then I transfer it to a larger knitting size knitting bag. But we just yesterday, the day before, got a whole bunch more Bink waffle bags at the studio. So if you guys are interested in getting one of your own, we'll have them up on the website by the time this video goes live. But this is one of the new ones. Oh, is this a big one? This is a big one. So this is the big size dumpling bag, the large dumpling bag. And every season they come out with new fabrics and new colors. And I think that there's some baby alpaca ones and some cute ones. Yeah, so we'll have those up on the website, but they're super cute and really, really great little knitting bags. So if you want one, you can go get one. We don't have that many. We just have a handful. Okay, let's talk about the retreat. So for many, many years now, we at the studio, we've been talking about this idea of hosting a retreat, hosting some kind of a fibery, yarny retreat. Like I mentioned in, a video a couple of weeks ago, I really, really miss that experience that I had at SOAR, spinning with everyone. And then I also got to experience a couple weeks ago, going on this amazing fiber arts retreat with some of my friends that was just super casual and not very formal and just very, just bring your own stuff and work on your own stuff kind of retreat. And so this idea has been percolating in my mind for many years now. Like Teresa and I have been talking about this for probably since 2013 about hosting a retreat. And we just trying to put boundaries around this, trying to put edges around it. And But this year, it's finally going to happen. And so the way that we want to do this is different, maybe, than any other knitting retreat that you've ever been to, or spinning retreat, or anything like that. We very specifically want to make this a fiber arts retreat. So at SweetGeorgia, we make yarn and we dye it and we spin yarn from fiber that we've dyed. And I'm super passionate about weaving. And so we've always sort of encompassed all of these fiber arts. It's not always very knitting specific. There's a whole spectrum of stuff that our entire team and our entire staff, and I feel like our entire community embraces, very much all fiber arts. And so I very, very much wanted our retreat to also encompass those things, to have spinners join with weavers and knitters and, the where everyone overlaps in this way. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we want it to be very, very self-directed. So like I mentioned about the retreat that I went on with, Katrina and Rachel and Heidi and a bunch of my friends, that retreat was very, very much self-directed. Bring your own project and work on it, whenever you want to. Bring 5 projects, bring 1 project, whatever you want to do, bring that and work on that for the weekend. So the big idea behind the SweetGeorgia retreat is to make it a very free-form, very self-directed, open studio style retreat. And so by that, I mean, what we're going to do is we're going to create 4 studio zones. And so there's going to be a zone or an area or studio area for knitting, and there's going to be one for spinning, and there's going to be one for weaving and one for dyeing. And the idea is that when you come, you would sign up for, a different session in any one of these studios. If you want, we'll have a handful of sessions, maybe 3 sessions, 2 or 3 sessions. And so if you want, you could sign up for all knitting sessions, or you could sign up for all weaving sessions, or you could sign up for 1 dyeing session and 2 spinning sessions, or something like that. The idea being that you can come to these studios and basically access a fully stocked studio of yarn and fiber and equipment and tools and supplies and materials. Basically anything that you need in order to do your work will be provided. You want to come and learn how to weave, frame looms will be available. Rigid heddle looms would be available. Very much like a fully stocked studio. You can come, show up with your project, and it'd be very, very, very self-directed. So the next idea about this retreat is that we didn't really want that, scurrying from one class to the other workshop to another class and just having very, very formal workshop instruction, because I feel like you can absolutely learn a lot from those kinds of events and those kinds of conferences, those kinds of retreats. And, it's on my bucket list to go to Plyaway someday. It's on my bucket list to go to ANWIG, that fiber arts conference and weaving conference. There's lots and lots of places where you can go to do those kinds of things. Here, what I wanted to do was get away from the idea of formal instruction, and rather than having teachers lead these studios, I wanted to bring in a whole bunch of facilitators. So people who have experience in the area of weaving or spinning or dyeing or knitting, and who are able to guide you, answer questions, help you, provide samples, provide some inspiration, have conversations with you about this topic, whatever topic you happen to be interested in. So this is the big idea around the SweetGeorgia retreat. The idea that it's very open studio based, very self-directed, that there would be supplies and materials provided for you, and that it's very much led by facilitators and by the students and the participants themselves, rather than being teacher focused or workshop driven or anything like that. This is a new experience for us. This is a very, very new experiment for us as well, because we're not sure how it's going to be received. But this is kind of like we're making the retreat that we want to attend. We want to go and have the opportunity to meet with people who love the things that we love to do just as much as we love to do them. Because one of the greatest joys is to be able to meet with somebody who does the thing that you do, and then to be able to talk with them about that and share ideas and look at projects and do a show and tell and Now, to answer a possible question or concern with the idea of like, well, if I come to this open studio and I don't know how to weave, what am I going to do there? Or if I come and I want to spin, but I don't know anything about spinning, or maybe I don't have the necessarily knowledge to be able to participate in a self-directed open studio. So what we're hoping to do with this is that when you register for the retreat, you will get access to the School of SweetGeorgia for a year. So basically a 1-year membership would be included together with your retreat fee. And what we're going to do over the next coming months is that we're going to provide some very sort of introductory workshops to get you up and running in those topics. So things like being able to, learn the basic techniques for how to warp a frame loom, how to weave on a frame loom, how to finish your weaving, how to get started with a rigid heddle loom, we already have a spinning course on how to start spinning from scratch. We already have dyeing courses on there, teaching people all the fundamentals of dyeing. So that way, when you show up, we provide the pots and the heating equipment and the dyes already pre-mixed. And if you need undyed yarn, we'll have that there. And then you can just make stuff with the knowledge that you have learned through the school, through the online videos, or through whatever background education you already have about these things. And so when we show up, we can just make stuff and we can just collaborate and share and enjoy this community. That is the big idea. So the last thing that I want to mention is where this retreat is going to be. This retreat is going to be held near Whistler. It's just like 10 minutes south of Whistler at a place called the Brew Creek Center. And this is a beautiful, beautiful venue. I mean, they use it for weddings in the summertime and they use it for conferences and retreats, obviously. We're going there for our Fiber Arts retreat. And it's a space where I actually taught in a couple years ago. I taught at a Knit Social retreat and I taught the color play workshop in this beautiful little house that was over a river, over a stream. What did they call it? They call it the bridge house because it was a house that was like on top of a river. So I taught in that room and it was wonderful. There's like a fireplace and it was just everything about this center is very winter ski lodge, cozy, rustic. I really love it. And it has been for years that we have wanted to go specifically to Whistler for a retreat. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to invite you guys to come and join us at Whistler to do this. Now, if you guys are interested in this retreat, the retreat is going to be held November 1st to November 3rd, 2019, near Whistler at the Brew Creek Lodge or the Brew Creek Center. And November, very, very, very beginning of November, Whistler itself, Whistler Mountain for skiing is not quite open yet. It opens a little bit later, but there might be snow on the road driving up to the mountain. And so anybody who's wanting to come, we are going to also arrange for transportation if you need it by shuttle so that you don't have to necessarily drive there, all of those kinds of things. So I think that that's everything that I wanted to tell you guys so far about the retreat idea. I just wanted to give you like a big picture idea of what we're thinking, what we're planning about how this retreat is maybe different from a knitting retreat that you've gone to, or like a specifically spinning conference or something like that. This is very, very open. And so I am absolutely interested to hear if you guys are interested in a retreat like this. Please do leave me a comment below and let me know. Does it sound interesting? Is it something that you might want to attend? What we're going to do is we're going to open registration in January. And if you guys are interested in finding out about when registration goes live, you can sign up for our email newsletter to find out all the news, because we're just going to basically tell our email newsletter first. So I guess that's it for this week. I just was really excited to be able to share with you guys this news. I know we put like a little paragraph about it in the email newsletter, but I wanted an opportunity to kind of articulate what the idea and the vision behind this retreat is. And so I hope that you guys are as excited as we are about this retreat idea. Please do leave me a comment below and let me know if there's any particular studio that you would be interested in, what kind of particular activities you might be interested in at an event like this. I would love to hear anything that you guys would like to say about this. So if you do like this episode, please do hit the like button here. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, please do hit subscribe and ring the bell and you will be notified when new videos go up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic start to December and that all the holiday things are coming together for you, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful holiday season for everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.